back to this week's episode of the Rangeless Travel Podcast. This week we're talking about how to eat healthy while on the road and traveling full time. Because whether you're backpacking, vanlifing, going on a cross-country road trip, it can be pretty easy to fall into some unhealthy habits.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to eating. We've done it. And we also, pretty much all the eating and what's going into both of our mouths falls on me. I do all the shopping, I do all the cooking, and Ryan does the dishes.
I do the dishes, and I empty the black water tank.
That's a later process of the food. That's like so much later. But you do that. You do that.
I do that, yeah.
You do that. Welcome back to the Rangeless Travel Podcast. We're your favorite adventure travel hosts. I'm Britt, and this is Ryan. Together, we travel the world by plane, train, and 89 Ford Sportsmobile. Every Tuesday, we share stories and tips to inspire you to book that next trip. So go ahead and don't be shy. Follow along with us at Rangeless_ on Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Let's dive in. This week, we're going to talk about fueling our bodies, some healthy eating habits, some easy recipes that we do while we're on the road, some of the things we do when trying to stay healthy. Because there's some differences between when we're backpacking and when we're living in a van, right? Mm-hmm. So when we're backpacking, specifically like Southeast Asia, it's going to be easier and more affordable to eat out. So that's what we're going
to do.
Yeah. Now, I have found like overall, the food tends to be a little bit more nutritious.
Nutritious?
Yeah.
Nutritious?
Yeah.
Yes.
Granted, there's going to be a lot of like fried stuff. There's going to be a lot of oils. There's going to be a lot of sauces. There's going to be a lot of mystery ingredients that you don't know. But for the most part, I kind of consider it like the food I'm eating, is it from the area that I'm eating it? So like, is it local food, whatever that like really means? Like, you know, if you're in Asia, are you eating Asian food? So like, you're gonna find like bean sprouts, you're gonna find carrots, you're gonna find eggplants, you're gonna find different like melons and stuff, right? So like, fish, if you're by the ocean, you know, maybe chicken or water buffalo if you're inland. So it's the stuff you're going to see at the market. Like, if you're on the streets of Bangkok and you get, like, fried rice. Like, is fried rice, like, the most healthy dish? No. But is it the worst? No.
Also no. Yeah.
Like, it's fine. Like, you're fueling your body with, you know, rice. Rice is just a carb. Like, you're fine. You can have some rice. It's vegetables. It's eggs. And a lot of times the chickens are going to be running around. And guess where the eggs came from, my friend? The chickens running around, you know? And a lot of the vegetables and stuff are coming from the local markets, which are coming from the local farmers. So you're eating in that local economy, farm to table, you know, without it being farm to table.
Yeah, it's like everything that you're eating is pretty much coming from the local area
and
for the most part.
Absolutely. And
that's what we aim for.
That's what we aim for. And of course, we have no way of double checking this because we can't communicate this with anyone. We don't know enough of the language wherever we're going. I don't know how to ask these things. What I kind of do is like look at what's at the market, and if what's at the market is being served, that's probably where the food came from. Also, I will do a little bit of Google searching and see what's in season in the area I am. So like, is watermelon in season? Is mangosteen in season, which is one of my favorite fruits ever from Southeast Asia. So what is it mango season? Is it papaya season? Like, what season is it? That's what I'm going to look for, right? Also, I'm looking for, can I identify what's in my food?
Yeah.
Like, can I look at it and be like, that's a vegetable? Like, I don't need to know what kind of vegetable. I don't need to know every, like, species of everything. But can I point out? Can I visibly see?
Yeah.
What's in there? That is a shrimp. Awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
The one thing that we typically, especially in Southeast Asia, that we typically, like, aim for is a soupy broth.
Oh, I'm always looking for soupy broths. In my mind, they're, like, the ultimate health, because in Eastern culture, food is looked at as medicine. So like everything that's going into a dish, it's supporting your body in a way. So like every vegetable has benefits, every meat has benefits, every single ingredient is benefiting your body. That's how food is looked at. So it's looked at much differently than most Western people are looking at their food.
Right.
Food is preventative medicine. Food is medicine. That's how they're looking at it. So that's how they're cooking. And that's the ideas and the philosophies that go into their dishes. So soupy broths are medicinal. Like they're adding all of the herbs. They're adding like they're all a bone broth. Like every one of them is a bone broth. You want, you know, so it's going to be
or a vegetable broth.
Or a vegetable broth if you're looking for like a vegetable dish. You know, so it's going to have all of those good things in it, and they use so many herbs and so many spices and so many good things. You're going to get all those benefits. So a soupy broth is always something that
we look for. We try and prioritize when we're out there.
And then some days it's hard because, like, let's say you're taking like a lot of public transit, like you have a lot of big buses that you're like taking from one place to the next, and you don't know what food's going to be available, and you're like, but I'm on a health journey. Like I can't just eat. Sometimes they all like the food will be included. So I remember I was on like this bus in Thailand, and they gave me some like weird Danish with a hot dog in it. Like maybe, like, you know, it wasn't my cup of tea, but I took a bite of it and was like, okay, like I tried this, but it like wasn't for me, which
I would have eaten it.
You absolutely would have eaten it, but which is fine. Like things can be for you and not for you. That's okay, you know? But what I'll try to do is I try to pick up a bunch of like, I'll go to the local market and I pick up a bunch of fruit.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll get like mangoes. Like I'll get things that are a little easier to eat. So like snake fruit, I really like snake fruit. Also carrots are a big one for me. I love carrots. Cucumbers, a big one for me. I love cucumbers. And I tend to also pick up like a little paring knife or something at the market.
That's a good hack that you have actually.
Yeah, that will run me about $1.
Yeah.
And it just allows me to like cut up vegetables, cut up fruit. And like I enjoy eating that. So like I will pick that up and I will eat it.
Mm-hmm.
And I like it, and I'll supplement that in. So like maybe if I'm really hungry, I'll eat the hot dog in the Danish. That's fine. It's fine. I'll eat the hot dog Danish. But then like I'll also put some fresh fruit in there, and I'll have a carrot or a cucumber, and like I'll literally just eat it on the bus. Like I don't care.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Now when we're in places that are a little bit pricier, like maybe in Europe,
right.
I try to book accommodations that have a kitchen.
Yes.
And now I'm in control of what I'm cooking and what goes in there, so I have a lot more control of it. And I just go to the grocery store. Again, I just go to the grocery store, which is the same as the local market. So I just go and I buy ingredients, but I will do so much research beforehand to figure out like what's in season where I am. Mm-hmm. What is the food that's like being prepared? What ingredients are local? And like I just research it.
Yes. And like things that are in season are better when they're not in season, when they are in season than when they're not. And they're also a lot cheaper when they're in season because there's an abundance of them, so the price goes down. So knowing those things really helps keep your budget under control as well.
And then when I have, like sometimes it can be hard, right? Because you won't know I have like all those basics to make the meals that you want to make, right? Because you have to like who wants to buy oil and salt and pepper and the spices and all this stuff? But that is one thing I buy a lot at the local markets when I travel. So I buy local spices and I bring them home with me.
Yeah.
I have so many like random little jars of spices from like different travels that I've brought home from like all over the world. And I purchase them and I use them while I'm there, and then I bring the rest, whatever I didn't use, I bring them home and I continue to like cook with those flavors. And then I've also found, especially like in Europe, the grocery stores have like affordable, coming from someone who's like, you know, from the US, they have affordable, like healthy meals, like that are like
pre-prepared.
Yeah, like I love like a grocery store salad, like the kind that comes in like a little plastic thing, and you like put it has like chicken or maybe a hard-boiled egg and maybe like some veg and some seeds of some sort and a little salad dressing, and you just eat it and it's so good.
Yeah.
He hates that. But I love them. I get them all the time. I was in Slovenia, and I mean, it was winter. This was not what was in season, but they had these like little pre-done salads. I think they were like €1.50 or €2, something like that. And I was able to get this little salad, and then I was getting like a piece of bread so to give me a little bit more like filling because I was like walking around all day. And for like €3, less than €3, I had like a full meal, and it was healthy and like balanced. I was like living my life.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So we do things like that. I just look for healthier things, and then I cook healthier things. And then when we're in the van, we have a full kitchen. And I think in the van, the biggest challenge is like lack of space. But that's probably also my challenge when I'm backpacking in places like Europe, where I'm like having to carry whatever I purchase.
And move between different locations.
Is like lack of space and like storage for whatever I'm purchasing. So like it just means that like things are pretty simple and like not a lot of variety.
Yeah. I mean, in the van, I think one of the biggest challenges is our fridge is an old RV fridge with propane. And they're not the most reliable things in the world. And this one is about 40 years old. So it doesn't regulate the temperature like it should.
It freezes my cucumbers.
It freezes and thaws and it does all these things. And I need to take it out and work on it. But we use it all the time. So the problem is I can't take it out to work on it because it's full of stuff. So at some point in the near future, I'm going to have to take it out and do some maintenance on it to make sure it tries to monitor and like stays the same temperature so that we can have some more of the like
leafy greens, particularly
the more delicate things.
Because like I love arugula, right? Like I just want like big arugula salads all the time. That I don't want frozen arugula. That's
or frozen cucumbers.
Yeah, frozen cucumbers are so gross, and it makes me so sad. So like. But cucumbers themselves are shelf stable. Like you can just buy a cucumber. You do not have to put it in the fridge. But then once you cut it up,
you have to.
You have to put it in the fridge, or you have to eat it. So what I'll tend to do is I'll buy like the
do you
small.
cover the cut end with cellophane or something? Or...
Sure, but how does that change anything?
I don't know.
It still has to either be put in the fridge and then it freezes, or it sits on the counter and it gets slimy.
I don't know.
I know, that's why I do most of this, but. I'll tend to buy like the smaller cucumbers, like the pickling cucumbers or something like that, so that we use the whole cucumber in one go, rather than like the big like are they Persian English cucumbers that like I'm not going to use that whole cucumber. It's a lot of cucumber.
Yeah.
So I just try to buy smaller ones so then they don't have to go in the fridge. What else do I do? Ooh, heads of lettuce. So I love a salad. Our fridge freezes the lettuce, but there's a few kinds of lettuce that does not have to go in the fridge if you eat it quickly. So for me, that's unfortunately typically
iceberg
lettuce. Like, is iceberg lettuce my favorite? No, it's not. Is it the most nutritionally dense? No, it's not. But you know what? I don't want to poop all over it because you know what it does? It's great hydrating. It's great in hydrating, and we're outside a lot, so that's not necessarily a bad thing to have a big hydrating salad. It's fine. I also just add a bunch of other stuff in there and add in the nutrients other ways, like carrots. Peppers are also shelf stable. Avocados are shelf stable. Onions are shelf stable. Tomatoes are shelf stable. You don't want to put those. Citrus, apples, bananas, oranges,
all these fruits,
all the different dried fruits. Like I love like a craisin or a raisin or an apricot, or
we also eat a lot of nuts.
A lot of nuts and seeds. Those are all shelf stable. Now it does come down to how we don't have that much shelf room, so we have to pick and choose, you know, what we're gonna do, and then that's kind of it for the week. So what I'll do is like I'll decide. I'm like, okay, like I was saying to Ryan, I was like, I have this like I have some chili ingredients, right? So I'm like, next week's gonna be chili week. So we're just gonna like eat chili different ways like all week, and then I'll bump up my chili with more like I'll put some I put the ground beef in it, like we eat meat. I put the ground beef in it. I might throw lentils in there, so for some like extra fiber and some like density, and all lentils have so many good things in them for you. So I try to like nutritionally pack the things that I make, and then we'll do it like potatoes. We do a lot of potatoes. They're shelf stable and they're really high in potassium. Your people give potatoes. They put them right
They're
up
top
there.
Tier.
They're
they
top
really
tier.
Are the superior vegetable.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of times in the U.S., people kind of are like, oh, potatoes aren't that good for you. Sweet potatoes are so much better.
I hear that a lot.
But it's not true. Like a potato, like not a sweet potato, just a normal potato, has like twice the amount of potassium than in a banana.
Yeah.
So it's good for you. So I was like, oh, we'll do like a little bit of chili that I'll like load up with like all kinds of veg, extra beans, lentils, like all that. Like I sneak carrots in there. Sometimes I'll put zucchini in there. Like I'll throw all kinds of stuff in a chili. Like it's basically just veg and meat in a tomatoey broth for me, and beans, like so much. I'll put it in a potato with like a little bit of Greek yogurt. Like that's fantastic. It's filling, it's satiating. It has the fat content to like make you feel satiated. It has all the protein, make you feel full. It's lots of good fiber to like keep your body processing everything. And it has like a lot of like phytonutrients and like all the other stuff that's good for you. So sometimes it's just like making a really nutritionally dense dish and then being able to use it different ways. And then like I was also saying, I was like, oh Ryan, like maybe we'll just do like chili cheese dogs. And he's like, I've never had one of those. And like that, would I say like that is nutritionally dense and that is good for you? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But is it bad for you? No, it's fine to do. Everything is in balance. So like I don't think it's healthy for anyone to look at the food that they're consuming and be like, you know what? This is bad. Like that's bad, and that's bad. I think at the end of the day, everything is coming down to balance. And it's the mindset of going into like, how can I fuel my body?
Right.
Because for us, like we're on this constant adventure and we need to be able to run and climb and hike and like have stamina and to do all of the things we want to do. So how can we fuel our bodies to be able to do all of those things and to stay healthy and be able to have the experiences that we want to have? And with that, it comes nutritionally dense. But also, like, we can build campfires all the time. You know it's really fun to roast a hot dog on a campfire.
Or a marshmallow.
Or a marshmallow, make a s'more. And you know what? It's totally okay to do that. And you don't need to feel guilty about it.
No.
You don't need to feel bad about it. It's fine. But it's building the habits of, okay, I look at it like 90-10. Like 90% of the time I need to fuel my body. I need to give my body good things. 10% of the time that's purely for the soul.
Yeah. And that's important too. Like, you know, you can't just like be militant with your eating all the time.
No, and I think that it's looking at stuff. So it's building those good habits, and in building those habits, they're not going to come overnight. So like for us, we built the habit of when we're backpacking in Asia, we look for brothy soups because we know that the broth is looked at as medicinal. So we know that it's going to be so nutritionally packed with so much goodness because it's looked at as medicine. So we look for the soups. We've built the habit, and when we were literally first stop Vietnam, brothy soup. And we built that habit, which just carried us through the whole time because we had the habit already of where's the brothy soup.
But sometimes you have to be careful when you're out in places and you don't know what's going into the food because where were you? Was it Indonesia where they were making the nasi goreng or something?
So it wasn't nasi goreng. It was nasi campur, which translates from Bahasa into English as essentially rice mix. Nasi is rice, campur is mix, rice mix. So you go to the restaurant and they're called like a varong, which is just their version of like a fast food restaurant. It's almost like a buffet, right? So you're gonna choose like a meat in 3. So you're gonna get rice and you're gonna choose a veggie, and then you're gonna choose like a meat or a protein. Maybe you'll get an egg, something like that, right?
Right.
So me and my roommate, Brooke, hey Brooke, if you're watching, love you. We thought we were health queens. We were like, we're gonna be health queens. We're getting like all of the veg, and then we're gonna get protein. And we're gonna do veg and protein, and we are the epitome of health. Well, we're like, these veggies are so good. They're delectable. What are they doing to these veggies that make them so good? We're eating like veggie with like protein, like meat and fish and different things like that for weeks. And we were like, we're health queens. And then we learned how they made the veggies and why they were so delectable. She was putting so much sugar, just like white table sugar, just like so much sugar into these vegetables. And we were like, oh, that's a lot of sugar in there. So sometimes you're not getting exactly what you want, but you know, it's okay. We thought we were health queens just eating these big piles of like, it was like cabbage and tomato, like a little bit of tomatoes and lots of carrots and like eggplant and like all these really good stuff.
But lots of sugar.
So much sugar. So much, like processed, not sugar cane, like white table sugar.
Yeah.
No wonder they're delectable. But you know what? Hey, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
We were still health queens. I don't care what anyone says. Health queens. But sometimes you just don't know what's going to be put in food. But it's fine. But, you know, we look for the brothy soups. They could be putting a bunch of sugar in there. We don't know. But in our mind, it's healthy, so we do it. It's looked at medicinal, so I know that there's a bunch of good stuff in it. And then when we're backpacking, we look for healthy options.
Mm-hmm. And if you're cooking yourself, you have a lot more control over what you're putting into your body. And, like, we have little, like, hacks, like food hacks that we use in the van, especially. Like, you like to pick up the bag salad.
Bag salad. Yeah, so it's different. When we're parked somewhere, for 2 weeks. Like, I just go in the kitchen and I cook and the top's popped and all the things. But when we have travel days, I have to prepare for the travel days because you're on the road.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're just driving. So it's really easy to like get hungry. And this goes for like anyone just like on a road trip. It's real easy to get hungry and be like, oh, we could just stop at the fast food restaurant.
Or I could just raid the snack cabinet for the hiking snacks and eat all of those.
Every hiking snack Ryan can just eat. And then it's just like, okay, well, now like we don't feel good. We feel tired. We feel worn down. We feel sleepy. Our stomachs kind of hurt because we've just been like eating junk all day. So I like fully prepare. Like I will prep easily accessible food for us to eat while we're driving. So that includes like a lot of sandwiches, just like nothing crazy, just like, you know, a turkey sandwich with some veggie and some tomatoes and a little mayo, like just
something satiating, keep you going,
Yeah.
so you're not snacking the whole time.
So you're not snacking the whole time. And then one of the other things that I do is that I love is I get like a bag salad. You know, everything's in there because we don't want to make a bunch of dishes while we're driving down the road. So I take the bag salad, I pour everything into the bag salad, and then I shake it up. And then to make it easy to eat, like while we're moving, I just put it into a wrap, fold it up. I might put a little bit of rotisserie chicken on there. That's one of my hacks for van life.
Yeah.
Rotisserie chicken, easy protein source. Done. Put some rotisserie chicken in there, bag salad, wrap it up. Here you go, Ryan. And he can just eat it while we go down the road. And it's filled with veggies and protein, and it's going to be satiating, and it's going to keep us from out of the snacks that are for hiking and out of like pulling into a burger place that we see on the side of the road.
Or a gas station.
Or a gas
something
station
like that.
and like going inside to use the restroom and coming out with,
Oh, I got this.
look what I got, and it's some like greasy, salty snack, which again is fine to do, but like you don't want to turn it into a habit.
No.
And I feel like it's a sneaky slope to building some like.
Well, like we had that one time where after we were in the wilderness for like 2 weeks at a time.
Oh yeah.
Like 3 times in a row, we'd drive past the sushi buffet and be like,
We're going there.
buffet?
Buffet, we're going to the buffet because first of all, it's easy, and I do all of the cooking, and to be quite honest, I get cooking fatigue. Like I'm like, I love cooking and I love making meals, but like I get to the point where I'm like, I don't want to cook. I don't want to cook. That's it. Like end sentence. And
the thing is resources are so tight and space is so tight that you have a plan for everything that's in the cupboards. So if I go in and I try and do something, I'm going to mess it up. I'm going to use something I shouldn't have used, or I'm going to use something that is going to was meant to last longer, or not use up the fresh stuff that's going bad because I'm not as well tuned into it as you are at all. Not tuned into it at all is what I should say. And
because so everything we do is meal planned. Like I buy groceries that are quickly perishable, like medium range perishable, and like long shelf standing, right? So some examples of some like quickly perishable is like herbs, fresh greens, eggs, bananas. If I grab any milk or anything like that, that's quickly perishable.
Avocados are not like right away, but when they are ready, they're ready. You have to use them right away.
They're my medium.
Yeah.
So any like pre-cooked meat or anything, so like the rotisserie chicken, like those things need to be used up and cooked and consumed right away within the first like 4 days, right? So I buy enough, and they have meal plans that go with them, whether they're like, we do a lot of tacos, we do a lot of sandwiches, I do a lot of like rice with veggies, I do a lot of stir fries, I do stuff like that, soups even. So that, and then it goes like medium perishable. So like stuff that's not good right away. So I actually put bananas in there.
Okay. Yeah, because we buy them when they're green.
Because we buy them and then they need a couple days. Bananas, avocados. What else? Cucumbers, because they're kind of good for a few days before I need to like chop them up. Peppers are sometimes in there.
Eggs, I guess.
I put eggs in quick. And things like that need to be eaten in like the first week and a half, right?
Right.
And then there's like the long standing. So those are like my canned goods. Carrots I even put in there because they can like go in the fridge and they essentially just freeze in there anyway. So they stay in there. They can be in there for 2 weeks and they're just fine. They're typically frozen. Dried beans, rice, smoked salmon I put in the fridge and it freezes. So like that's usually good for a long time.
anything that's like processed, like once in a while I'll get like some, like I recently bought like a container of like pulled pork, and like it was good for a questionable amount of time. But I also put it in the back so it got frozen, so like it was kind of frozen, so like whatever. It was fine. And yeah, so that's how I cook the meals. So I use the ingredients that have to be used up so that nothing goes bad. Also in the long form, like apples, potatoes, things like that, they last for a long time. So I use things in that order. So Ryan can only cook from a recipe, which means he can't just go in and be like, oh, I can
do this and this and this.
Yeah, so it makes it a little difficult, and it puts it in, so like we haven't figured out a way that it puts it so I don't have to do all of the cooking.
Yeah, unless it's like pot noodle night.
Unless
cup noodle night or something like that.
Yeah, unless it's instant noodle night. And then, but even that I do, because I do that. Because it needs bean sprouts, it needs things put in there, you know?
Yeah. Another good hack that we have is we make sushi in the van quite a bit.
Oh, I make sushi all the time in the van.
Yeah, or onigiris.
Onigiris, we did that last night. It was so good. So we used some of the pulled pork in the onigiris with a little bit of like sesame seeds that I brought back from Japan.
And some soy sauce.
And some soy sauce.
And
then we wrapped it up in a nori, and delicious. Easy.
It reminded me of the Korean barbecue flavored onigiris.
Yeah, from 7-Eleven in Japan.
Yeah, it's so good.
So good, satiating.
Not that bad for you. I mean, there's the processed pulled pork in there, but like everything else is seaweed, rice, sesame seed.
It's fine.
Yeah, and a lot of times we don't even make it with that. We'll use like tuna from a can.
Yeah, most of the time that's what we use. Most of the time I either put smoked salmon in it or canned tuna in it. Yeah. And I recently got smoked canned salmon from Trader Joe's, and it was pretty good. I would get it again. It was good.
It was really good.
I would get it again.
Yeah. And the nori sheets, they're very
nori
versatile.
Sheets are fantastic.
And they're shelf stable, and I think they're great.
Yep.
For a van.
Yeah, we do a lot of sushi. I do a lot of soup. I do a lot of sandwiches. I keep a lot of tacos. I keep things pretty easy, just because you have to. A lot of salads.
Yeah.
And that's really all I cook. What else do I make? Noodles, pasta.
Sometimes we eat pasta. Yeah,
sometimes.
Not all the time.
Not all the time, but sometimes we eat pasta.
A lot of noodles. A lot of
quesadillas
a lot
sometimes.
Of rice.
With like chicken, a little bit of cheese in it, some veggies in it.
Yeah.
A lot of things that are handheld just because we can.
It's easy to eat. Less dishes.
Less dishes because we have to think about water supply, right? Yeah. Potatoes, lots of fresh fruit. I try to keep lots of fresh fruit around so that it's easy to grab. So like a lot of apples, a lot of bananas, a lot of oranges. Depending on where we are, I try to get like local fruit. So we've recently had like tamarind, we've recently got like a whole pack of mangoes, we recently got longans, so I get like...
Those are not local, but we got them from...
No, they were because they were imported from Mexico, and we were down in Texas, so they were like right there.
I guess, yeah.
They might have been from Texas, I don't know. It didn't say.
Okay. I've never seen a longan grow in Texas, but maybe.
I don't know, maybe they weren't local, but we got them at the local market. No, we didn't. We got them at H Mart.
We got them at H Mart, yeah.
Well, they were delicious, and we got them. So, and we got a whole pack of mangoes, and those are delicious. I do a lot of fresh fruit.
Yeah.
A lot of veggies in dip too.
Yeah.
A lot of veggies. So
like hummus.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll do like I also like.
We make guacamole quite a lot.
We make guacamole when there's avocados around, and I'll pre-prep the vegetables. So like I'll cut up broccoli and carrots and celery and whatever else, peppers sometimes, and I put them in like one big container
all together.
So then we pull it out, and then I just pull out like hummus or some sort of dip of some sort. A lot of times I like to get like Greek yogurt based dips just because like I feel like they're health queen, and it makes it easy.
Yeah.
And then
and that's lunch right there.
And that's lunch. Yeah.
It's good. It's healthy.
It's lunch. It's done.
It's good. Easy
Veggie
to do.
plate.
No dishes.
No dishes is the big one, yeah.
Big plus right there. Yeah.
I just keep it easy.
We also tend to bury the snacks in the bottom of the cabinet.
I bury the snacks from Ryan.
Mainly from me because I sleep. I stay up late. Like I don't get tired until late in the night, and sometimes I get a little munchy crunchy, and Layla be looking at me, or our dog Layla, and Layla loves snacks. And like she'd just be coming up to me, whispering in my ear. She'd be like, "You know the snacks in the bottom of the cabinet? We should share them."
That's definitely.
Brittany won't hear us. She's sleeping.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And we get all the snacks because if you're going on like hike.
Yeah.
You need some like easy to carry. You need some quick sugars. Your body.
You need something that's not going to go bad in your pack when you're hiking in the sun for
so
like 2 hours.
So we do like jerkies because we say camp snacks a lot. Some jerkies. Sometimes we have some gummies and like some things like that just for like those boosts of energy. What else in the snack? Sometimes like chips and like crackers and things like that.
Nuts.
Nuts. Yeah. Sometimes we have some nuts and
like
stuff.
Like pistachios or something like that. Yeah.
And Ryan eats them all while I'm sleeping and then leaves all the trash everywhere for me to clean up in the morning.
I stopped doing that.
That's it. That's all we do to eat healthy. We basically just try to eat as local as we can. We try to eat as many like fresh fruits and vegetables as we can. We keep it simple.
We drink a lot of water.
We drink a lot of water.
We always have these at arm's reach, our Klein canteens.
Lots of tea, lots of water. And
tea's good too, yeah.
And we just try to eat balanced. That's all we do. And we try to set good habits. And that's everything we do to make sure that we're eating healthy while traveling full time. If you want more from us, you can find us at Rangeless_ on YouTube, Spotify, anywhere else you get your podcasts, TikTok, and Instagram. Until next week.
Bye.